I'm halfway through my triathlon season and I've got a 5-week break till my next race, so for the next 4 weeks I'm going to be locking in, aiming for my biggest block of training yet, trying to focus on nailing recovery, sleep, nutrition and the training itself. And I'm going to be making weekly videos documenting each week of training for the next 4 weeks, documenting every swim, cycle and run. So talking of training, let's get started. So what is on the menu for today's training? Today I've got a 1 hour steady bike ride, a 45-minute steady run, and a 1 hour 3,000 meter aerobic swim, which I'm just on my way to now. And I'm going to get that done this morning. Then later on, I'm going to do the rest of the training, and I've also got a meeting with Coach Grant at 2 o'clock, and we're going to talk through this block of training, what we're going to be focusing on this block of training, how we're going to do it, what the plan of action is to get this block of training to be the best block of training it can be. Swim done, all done and dusted, and that is 1/3 of the training of today done. It is currently 1:22. The swim was, as I said, 3,000 meters long. The main set was 8 times 200 meters, alternating between just steady swimming and steady swimming with a pull buoy. So pretty good, can't complain. It was about 52 minutes, so all green on Training Peaks. I'm now going to get home for my meeting with Grant. I'm going to get some lunch and then crack on with the rest of the training for today. So, great start to the day, feeling good, the weather's getting nice, so overall, good stuff. Walk up into the nice weather. So that ride was an hour. It was just an hour super steady, turning the legs over, keeping it super easy on the turbo. So it was an average of 160 watts. So yeah, keeping it super easy, and that went well. That helped. Helps kind of recover a bit. So it's a bit of an active recovery, and that was good. And that brought the day to an end. It was a total of 2 hours 40 for the day. So a pretty solid day. So yeah, all good today, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning, we are back. It is Tuesday morning and we are ready for another day's training. Today on the cards for the training is a 1 hour threshold swim and a threshold cycle, which is an hour and a half. So going to be good fun. And I thought I'd quickly give you this morning a bit more of an insight, a bit more context into where I am in my triathlon season and why this 4-week block is so important. So last Saturday, I had a race. I had the Beaver Castle Triathlon, which was a bit of a smaller, lower level race, and I actually won it, which was great. But the week before that, I was ill, so the training leading up to that wasn't great. And the race in 4 weeks' time is the next British Super Series race, which is at Eton Durney, and that is a eliminator race where you do lots of short triathlons. So that kind of affects the training that we're going to be doing in the next 4 weeks. Meaning that we're going to be really focusing on that top end fast stuff rather than kind of lower intensity stuff that would be more important kind of over winter or going into a longer distance race. So the hours in this training block aren't going to be huge, focusing on keeping it around that 18-19 hour mark, but with lots of intensity. And over the 4 weeks, the overall volume probably isn't going to be going up that much, but the intensity is going to be going up. So this first week, since we're coming off a bit of illness and this race, we're kind of sticking with a lower volume and also sticking with not too much intensity. So this threshold cycle is probably the most intensity we're going to get up to in this week. We've got a speed swim later on in the week and a tempo run, but nothing too high intensity, nothing crazy, just keeping it fairly easy this first week. Then we build up to doing some really high intensity workouts the next couple of weeks. There's high intensity brick sessions, race pace sessions later on, closer to the race once I've recovered a bit, made sure I'm fully recovered from this illness that I had last week. But right now I'm feeling really good, so I'm going to focus on getting this week really solid and just doing it simple and well and making sure I'm getting the training done as best as I can, and recovery as best as I can, nutrition as best as I can, and sleep as best as I can, as I've been talking about already. So first of all, I'm going to get going with this swim, then later on I'll see you for the cycle. Right, threshold swim done. That was 3,250 meters, and that was pretty good. I felt alright. The main set was 800, 600, 400, 200 at threshold, so I paced that around 130 per 100, and that went well. That felt okay. Maybe a little bit too comfortable. Maybe could have pushed a little bit harder, but it was good fun, and happy with how it turned out. So next up, I've got a threshold cycle, so a bit of a threshold day going on. So going to get ready for that. I'll talk you through the session once I'm on the bike. So for now, I'm just going to eat some lunch, get ready to go, and I'll see you on the bike. It is bike session time. Threshold cycling session on the turbo. And this session is a key session. Each week there's going to be 1 or 2 or 3 key sessions that I'd really like to nail that have a specific focus where training benefit is really going to come from, and this is this week's key session. This session itself, the main set is 4 times 8 minutes at 315 watts, 4 minutes at 170 watts rest. So it's going to be tough, especially as I'm doing it indoors. I always find it a little more difficult to put out power on the turbo than when I'm outside, but it's been raining super heavily. The roads are going to be really wet, which makes it less safe, and also it's not great for your bike. So I'm going to do this on the turbo, which going to make it pretty warm, so going to get this session done. It's going to be tough, but hopefully it's going to be fun, and hopefully I can nail this session and get ready for this tough session. So let's lock in. I also forgot to mention, I've said it again and again, nutrition is super important. So the nutrition that I'm using for this bike session, which is in total an hour and a half, I've got a bottle on my bike with 50 grams of carbs in it, another bottle with 40 grams of carbs in it. So a total of 90 grams of carbs, so 60 grams of carbs per hour, which is the mark that is good to take on for me, which should fuel this bike ride perfectly. These are the sort of things that I really want to nail in this training block, stuff that I've not paid as much attention to in the past, which in the moment is fine, for the session it's fine, but when you keep doing it, ultimately it makes your recovery worse, and you're low on energy. You might be able to get the session done. The session's probably going to be a bit worse, but what's really going to be worse is the recovery and being able to do the next hard session the day after or later on in the day. So focusing on getting that done right. So going to crack on, almost done with my warm-up, and then the real spicy stuff begins. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Right, first interval done, quarter of the way there. That was tough. Wow, it was warm. Just adjusted the position of the fan, getting as much air as possible, ready for the second, third and fourth rep for pods. That first rep was a bit too warm, so I'm trying to get as much air as possible. Right, second interval, ready. Three, 2, 1. Rep 2 done. Halfway there. Got 3 done. 310 average watts. All done. Come on. Right, so that is the bike session done, and that went pretty well. It was pretty tough, as you saw. And looking at the power files, it was pretty good. A few watts below for each of the intervals, but that's not too much of a problem. Only like 5 or 6 watts below, which obviously isn't ideal, but it's not much of a problem. Nothing to turn your nose up at. The training effect is still there, but something to focus on for the next session, just trying to make sure I'm hitting the power. But yeah, pretty solid session and a pretty solid day. 2 pretty high intensity sessions, 2 hours 27 total time. But yeah, those are both pretty high intensity sessions. So pretty solid day of training, all done and dusted. And that is Tuesday done. And at the start of the video, I set out the 4 things that I'm going to be trying to focus on: the sleep, recovery, the nutrition, and then of course the training itself. And today I'm going to talk to you about how I'm going to focus on recovery. So focusing on recovery, I'm going to be trying to each day do stretching and foam rolling. And that's something that I've kind of done very irregularly in the past. Kind of done foam rolling when I'm super sore, and then also stretching in the gym, but try and do it each evening. It'll be interesting to see how that affects my muscles. Hopefully it'll make them feel better for the next day's training. I've heard mixed things about how useful foam rolling is, but it's worth testing it for myself to see how well it works for me. So going to be doing that, testing that each evening, and then yeah, I'll get back to you on how well that works. And yeah, for now, I'll see you tomorrow. Good night. So on Wednesday, I had a pretty simple day of training. I had a 1 hour tempo run session, which was 6 times 4 minutes at tempo, about 6 out of 10 effort with 1 minute easy rest in between those intervals, and then 4 times 10-second strides to finish. And that it went alright, wasn't feeling great, was feeling pretty sluggish. And then in the evening I had an open water swim session, and that went really, really well. I was feeling really good. I was doing that with someone else, and that made that much, much easier to swim hard. Trying to follow someone's feet makes it so much easier to swim hard, and it kind of encourages you to, and it motivates you and encourages you to swim hard, and that was really good. And now it is Thursday. Good morning. I woke up this morning not feeling great. I slept pretty badly. I got a low sleep score on my chorus, and I can tell, I'm not feeling particularly recovered, not feeling particularly energetic, which is particularly unideal given today is the day of the week with the highest planned volume. The planned training for today is a 2 hour tempo bike session, a 30-minute easy run, and a 1 hour aerobic swim. So 3.5 hours total training for today planned. We might have to improvise, adapt, and overcome depending on how I feel. Tomorrow there is just a speed swim session planned, so I could move the bike session to tomorrow if I need to. So I think what I'm going to do is do the easy run, then do the swim, and then decide if I'm up to the bike session, and if not, I will put that off for tomorrow. So it's okay, there's a plan. It's not ideal, I didn't sleep great. I will make sure to get a good night's sleep the next couple of nights. But yeah, it just makes a big difference to the training. It's difficult to get out the door and do some hard training if you've not slept particularly well. So, gonna get that done. Gonna go off for the easy run now, and then I will get back to you on how I'm feeling to decide whether I do the bike session tomorrow or today. So, let's go for the run. Run and swim done, and they both went, the run went well, the swim not so much. So the run was 31 minutes and it ended up being 6.29 kilometers, which was pretty good, and I was feeling pretty decent. It was nice and sunny, it was pretty good, and I was feeling fairly energetic. So that was good. That was a nice surprise. Then I went for the swim, and that was a bit of a different story. I was feeling super sore, and I actually ended up not being able to do the whole swim. I ended up doing 2,500 meters of the 3,000 meters planned, and I was just super sore. My shoulders, my chest were just in a lot of pain from the hard swim yesterday. That clearly had quite an effect. So that's the first yellow session on Training Peaks this week. We're no longer on for a full green week, but hopefully that will be the only yellow session. Hopefully everything else will be green. And I've made a decision that I'm going to be able to do the cycle. I'm feeling good. The energy is okay. I'm feeling a bit more awake now. It was just sore shoulders and chest from the hard swim yesterday that affected the swim, and that won't affect the ride, so we're all good. So, going to get going for the cycle, but we're good fun. I can talk to you on the cycle and keep going, and it's good. So, let's go for the cycle. Right, so I'm out on the ride and I've made a bit of a change of plans. I'm not feeling great, legs aren't feeling great, and I'm still feeling pretty tired. So I'm just going to do an hour super steady, keep it zone 1, and then do the tempo session tomorrow, which works well. That works well in the training program, as I only had the 1 hour swim. So first thing tomorrow, in the sun, I'm going to come out and get that tempo session done. And today, just keep it super easy for an hour, get my legs rolling, turning over, and hopefully that'll mean I'll feel much better for the tempo session tomorrow. I think if I'd attempted to do it today, I might have got it done, but I would have felt terrible, and then I would have also probably felt terrible for the next couple of days. So trying to be wise, make the right decisions, and I think that is the right one today. So just going to enjoy the rest of this super easy hour. So there we go, today's training wasn't the best, but it's going to be a good day of training, it's going to be a bad day of training, that's okay, we move on. Hopefully we can make tomorrow a great day by having this day a bit easier and recovering well this evening. So yeah, as I said, going to go do that, going to recover, going to eat well, meeting up with some friends later, but make sure I need to get back not too late to sleep well this night to be able to train well tomorrow. So I'll see you tomorrow, good night. Good morning. I am out on the bike, ready for the session. It's nice and sunny. It's a little bit later than I planned. Went out for breakfast with my family, which is very nice. Had a great full English breakfast to fuel this ride, but it does mean it's a bit later than planned, but it's alright, we're going to get it done. As I said, it's sunny. Trying out using nose tape for the session. As I said, I've been using it for sleep and that's really helped, so I'm going to try using it for the session to see if being able to breathe more through my nose during the session will help. Although I'm very much hoping I won't get a tan line from it. That'd be a really unfortunate tan line to get. So won't do it too often to avoid the tan line, but we'll see how it works for this session. The session is 4 times 10 minutes at tempo, which for me is the top of tempo, which is 280 watts, and then 5 minutes easy rest between the intervals. So that's going to be good fun, and let's do this. Simpson Haribo, ready to start the intervals, got 20 seconds till we're going. Let's lock in, totally Zolo. Let's do this. Right, so first interval done. I'm kind of struggling to hold consistent watts throughout the interval. The road I'm on is pretty rolling, and there's also not really any flat roads around me, so I've not got much choice but to do it on a rolling road. And on the uphills,
I'm going way over the power on the downhills. I'm going way under the power. So yeah, definitely not holding a particularly consistent power, and it's very hard to do so, which isn't ideal, but I'm gonna have to do my best, try and find a flat road. But other than that, all right, feeling good. I think the average would have probably been just under 280 on that interval. Yeah, as I said, none of it was really at 280. Most of it was either above or below. So let's see if I can do better for the next three. Second interval done. Similar to the first one in that it was very hard to hold the power, but not too bad, and feeling pretty decent. Yeah, this third interval should be a bit flatter, so it should have a better chance at holding a consistent power. But yeah, we're gonna get it done. It's going by pretty quickly, we're already halfway through. So let's crack on with the second two. Right, 3 out of 4 intervals done. The last one just about to start. Let's do this. Right, there we go. All 4 10-minute intervals done. Again, not the best pacing from me. It was pretty difficult on those rolling roads, but got a session done, felt decent. So now 5-minute rest, 20-minute cool down, and then that's the cycle session done. And then later on this evening we've got a speed, swim and a gym session, so that'll be good fun. Yeah, pretty good cycle, nice and sunny, enjoyed it. So I'll talk to you later.
So after I got home, I just tried to recover as best I could. So I had a great milkshake. I drank that and recovered. And then after that, I went for the swim. And the main set for the swim was 10 times 100, alternating between easy and maximum effort. So yeah, speed swimming is definitely not what I'm best at, but it actually went pretty well. I was kind of doing the hard ones at around 118 per 100, so very slow. So going to be having to work on my speed a lot more. But overall, solid day's training. Bike session went pretty well. Looking at the power, it's not great if you just look at the average, but then kind of looking at the normalized and the difference between the highs and the lows of power. Yeah, it's definitely not ideal, but got it done, and it doesn't matter that the power's a little bit low. We got it done anyway. So there we go. That is Friday done. That is the weekdays of training done. That is all the swimming done for the week, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning. It is Saturday. We are back for another day, and today we have got a fairly small day. We've got a 50-minute steady run with 6 hill reps. It's just 6 times 6 seconds fast uphill, so kind of working on that strength running up a hill, kind of it increases resistance. It's good practice. It's kind of like a stride with even more resistance, so that will be good fun. And I also have a gym session. I normally do 2 gym sessions a week, but this week we're just doing 1, and the session itself is a push session. It's full body, kind of working on the main areas that are required in triathlon, which obviously makes sense. So that's mostly legs, and then a bit of shoulders, back, chest, core, just kind of full body. We'll probably end up spending an hour in the gym, so about an hour 50 total time. So a pretty solid day. But should be able to recover a bit throughout this day. Not feeling great again today. Had another low sleep score on Chorus. Didn't sleep particularly well. Didn't wake up feeling particularly refreshed, which isn't ideal. I really need to work out what's causing that. But just going to focus on getting the training done today, recovering, resting as much as I can, ready for tomorrow and next week's training. So yeah, feeling okay, not feeling great, but going to get the training done. So let's go get ready for the run. So I was procrastinating going off on my run, and that actually ended up being good because 2 good things have happened. First of all, it's got sunny, which is nice, so I can go run in the sun. And also, my GBR age group kit has arrived from Hoob, or at least part of it. I've got 2 t-shirts, which is good fun. It's nice to rep the merch. So gonna wear this my run. I got 2 t-shirts, as I said. I got a nice light blue one and a nice dark blue one. So let's try them on. I like it, Picasso. Nice, nice. I also got this one. This nice dark blue one, which I might wear for my gym session later. Very good, very nice. Right, I'm going to go for my run and wear my new t-shirt. Right, that is run done. It ended up being 11k total in just under an hour. That was made slower by the hill reps, so they were obviously was walking back, made it a lot slower. So overall, decent run, felt alright, felt pretty good. I'm now going to get going to the gym. I'll bring you along for that. As I said earlier, it's a push session. It's the sessions that I've been doing in the gym during the season of triathlon. It kind of changes what we're focusing on, and what I need to remember is it's really important. It's lifting heavy and few reps for in season, which I'm not used to. I'm not particularly, I don't really enjoy it that much, but I need to make sure I'm doing that. I've been let know that I haven't been doing that already. So less reps, heavier. So let's go do that in the gym. So what did I do in the gym? Well, I'll tell you. So I started off the gym session with just some stretching and foam rolling for a while. I did quite a lot of that. Was feeling a little bit sore on the legs, so yeah, lots of foam rolling, lots of stretching, and then I moved on to the actual gym work. Well, it started off with the leg press machine, 3 sets of 3 pretty much max out leg presses, and then I moved on to single leg box squats, so basically squatting off a box on one leg with a weight held out in front of me. And then after that, I went on to a dumbbell bench press, and then barbell overhead press, and then standing barbell calf raise, which was proper sore. That was kind of standing on the edge of a box, and then kind of going on from your tiptoes down to as low as you can get, using your calf with a barbell on the Smith machine, and that really hurt, as you can see on my face. Then I went on to, after that, doing a single leg pogo hop, and then also just some core work to finish it off, so that included a plank and things like that. And yeah, overall good gym session. I quite enjoy going to the gym. It's good fun. Nice change from all the running, cycling, swimming. And so yeah, usually, as I said, I usually do 2 gym sessions a week. This week we're just doing 1, but next week you'll see I go back to the normal routine of 1 full body push, 1 full body pull. So yeah, that is Saturday, all done and dusted, and I'll see you bright and early tomorrow because I'm setting off probably about 6:30 in the morning for a 3-hour bike ride. Getting that done early, so I've got time for the rest of the day to do some other stuff. I'll talk to you about that tomorrow. So I'm going to be up bright and early, so I got to go to bed. Good morning, it is Sunday morning, and we are ready for the day. It's currently about just after 6, the alarm was on for 6, and I need to leave by 6:30, ready for 3 hours steady ride, and then that is the week's training done. So it's always nice to get out early, so the weather's not quite as nice as I was hoping. It's kind of a bit overcast, but can't complain too much. So yeah, having my breakfast, got overnight oats, banana and a bagel, so let's go.
Right, I'm now out on the bike, still trying to wake up. Still feeling pretty asleep, but I'm out. A couple K into the ride. It's nice weather actually. It's actually pretty chilly. I'm glad I've got arm warmers on. It was pretty cold starting off with. I'm hoping it'll gradually heat up throughout the ride. But it's good, feeling good. Legs aren't too sore. Just going along at a nice steady speed. Averaging like 170 watts. So yeah, pretty decent. Nice enjoyable ride. As I said, it's nice to get out early, get the ride done early, and have the rest of the day. So now I'm just going to crack on with the rest of the ride. Another bonus to going out early is there's just no one out. There's barely any cars, barely any bikes. I mean, bikes is no problem, but it's nice to not have too many cars around. So lovely having the race to myself. So going to enjoy that and crack on.
right, so I'm now just over 2 hours into the ride. My legs are pretty sore. I've eased off a bit and just riding very steadily. Yeah, my legs. I don't know if it was the gym session yesterday or the cycling session on Thursday, but yeah, my legs are just pretty cooked. But it's alright, just taking it home slowly. Another benefit to setting off really early is there's lots of lovely wildlife around. I've spotted so much. I've seen deer, I've seen rabbits, I've seen hares, I've seen pheasants, and I've seen, what else have I seen? Squirrels. Yeah, just a lot of wildlife, which is lovely, I guess. Not many cars out, so they're not scared away, so they're just nice, hanging around, chilling around, so it's pretty fun to see them. So yeah, it's going to take it home slowly now. So there we go, that ride ended up being 2 hours and 53 minutes and 78k. So pretty slow ride, but it was good fun. As I said, it was great vibes going out early morning on the Sunday. Might have to make that a tradition. As I said, saw lots of animals and just enjoyed having the roads to myself. And by the end of it, there was a few other cyclists out, so had a chat with some nice cyclists at the end of the ride. So that was great ride, great fun, and a great way to start Sunday, and had a great rest of the day. I went to church in the morning, and then I went over to Leeds in the afternoon to watch the Ironman, which was really cool. Going to see the first ever Ironman Leeds, and got to see a few people I know racing, and also got to watch Sam Laidlow racing, who won the race. It was super cool to see an Ironman world champion racing, and finishing the race and winning. Yeah, overall great experience, really inspirational going to see that. Great fun, and just great vibes. And of course, in the afternoon, watch the Women's Euros final. So great Sunday, great day, great way to finish the week, and a great week of training. And once again, it's a fairly standard week, nothing special yet, but in the next 4 weeks, we're going to be building some hopefully exciting numbers, building the volume, but also really building the intensity. So that's going to be good, but fairly standard week to kick things off. Great building block to kind of gradually build through the 4 weeks with starting off with a solid week. Total time for the week was 16 hours and 41 minutes. So a fairly standard total volume for me, but some really good intensity within that. And that included 13,900 metres of swimming, 38.74 kilometres of running, and 259 kilometres of cycling. So decent numbers, but again, it's what's to come that's exciting. So there we go. That is week 1 finished. I'm looking forward to this series. It's going to be good fun, and I've got a good feeling about the block of training. I feel like it's going to be good, getting the basics done right, and then we're going to be building and hopefully getting some exciting results coming soon. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next episode next week. Goodbye.